absolutely adore the scene. The scene is so good. Hello everybody, my name is Jethro, otherwise known as Runaway Red String, and I do videos on psychology, showmanship, and magic. So if you find the former or the following video fascinating, feel free to subscribe. Help me hit that 100 sub mark. Now, Doctor Stone Season 2 has come out, and I am so very excited because it is absolutely my favorite anime series that's on right now. And in honor of it coming out, I would like to react to Doctor Stone, as I'm sure you've ascertained by the title. More specifically, I'd like to react to Asagiri Gen, which is this magician character that joins the Doctor Stone cast. I think as a magician myself, it would be really interesting for me to react to him. This isn't a blind reaction because I've watched the anime, but I think it's still interesting to watch the scenes and then talk about them. So, without further ado, here we go.
どっかで見た顔だと思ったらてめえ朝霧玄か知り合いかいや1ミリも知らねえゴミみてえな心理本書いてたマジシャンだ読んだことあるの嬉しいねそんでゴミみたいはひどいねメンタリストって言うんだよいや勝手にラーメンいただいちゃったのは謝るよだからさこの武器下ろしちゃってくんないもう怖くて手足プルップルでせっかくのラーメンこぼしちゃいそうでね僕が持っててあげるよデタラメばかりだ一人で食料探してたらびっくり懐かしいラーメンの香りがしてフラフラっとさこの男はみじんも怯えてなどいないその口の紡ぐ言葉が羽のようにめっぽう軽いまあそういうこと
Okay, so the first scene with Asagiri Gen, his intro, and already it's really, really fun, right? Because first of all, just a really good establishing scene. It pops from the episode. It very quickly establishes his character, what he's about, who he is, all of that stuff. But the thing that stands out to me is when he asks, "Please call me a mentalist." Because that is something a lot of mentalists will do, right? They will make the distinction between a magician and a mentalist. And I don't know where I stand between making that distinction. I think it is really just the same art form and can be under the umbrella term of magic. But I think that it still makes sense that there is a divide, right? Magic does have a very different vibe from mentalism, and there is a very different set of skills that you have to practice. There is some overlap, but there is a distinction. So them making the distinction is not only accurate for just the show to portray what type of stuff Gen does, all of the more psychology than sleight of hand, but it also is something that a real life mentalist would actually do. And yeah, it's really cool that they put that in. I quite like that. Okay, next scene.
花束くれないスイカちゃん戦争より花でしょ何花なんか持ち上がってんだよこのキザな男はよ
Sly guy.
空の怒りを呼んだのは貴様か自分から殺されに来るとはいい度胸
やだな逆だよ逆俺らはさあの雷ちゃんを妖術で消しに来たのよ
何適当な寝言ほざいて
こんな風に
Hey.
マジで消えた目の前で
あれでいないのかマグマたちからはバックパームとかいう技だページなしがトランプとか使ってやるやつだなやるじゃねえかインチキマジシャン
Okay, so yeah, this scene is incredible. Like when this scene happened, like the first time I watched it, I knew I would fall in love both with the show and with this character. And yeah, the show is absolutely right, which is one of the many things it gets absolutely right. This is a back palm. It is a trick done by magicians to hide cards and things. It is excellent, and it is a very popular beginner's trick just because of how magical it looks when you do it right. If you've watched some of my vlogs, you know that I like to intro my vlogs with something related to a back palm just because of how much it pops. it's a very very fun trick, and I like the fact that Doctor Stone put this in because it's such a known trick both for magicians and people just getting into magic. It is a really really good thing for them to put in, and I think it captures the spirit of Doctor Stone really well. They do a lot of this, right? Like putting things that actually exist and representing it really well. On to the next one. He did. Hey. Okay, so I absolutely adore that scene. It's such a fun scene. It's so hype, and Doctor Stone does a lot of these super hype scenes that I love. And this is quite good, right? Because technically speaking, it's not actually a magic trick. At least not one that, if you no street magician is gonna go up to you and ask you to stab them or anything. But it is still very much a really magician thing to do, because a lot of magicians will be ready to perform a magic trick at a moment's notice, right? I carry like a deck of cards and a few coins with me anywhere I go, even if I'm not going to a gig. And a lot of other magicians will have a couple of magic tricks that are nice and portable and just on hand, just to be prepared. In fact, there's this book on magic called Simplicity, Audacity, and Bluff that talks about how you don't actually need to be a really good magician to wow an audience if you are just prepared to do a magic trick and you at all times and you just pull it out of nowhere without even announcing that you're a magician. That's gonna get really good reactions even if the magic trick isn't that good. Like something as simple as making a coin appear is really really powerful if you're not expecting the coin to appear, and I think that is quite a similar philosophy. So it's a really nice scene for that reason. On to the next one. Okay, so that was a really fun scene. In my other video about Asagiri Gen, I talk about the specific thing that he uses here, the psychological trick. He's really good at using empathy and putting himself in other people's shoes to figure out what they're gonna do and what he should do in response. But putting that aside, just focusing on the scene itself, it's really fun, and I'm almost certain it's an allusion to a scene from the Now You See Me movie. There's a scene in that movie where I think it was Jack Wilder. He has to trick some backup that Dylan Rhodes has so that they don't come in and arrest him. So what he does is he takes Dylan's walkie-talkie and then pretends to be him through it. He copies his voice. And it's a really fun scene, and I'm almost certain that this is an allusion to that. It's not in and of itself a magic trick, it is just a thing that you can do with enough training. It's really hard. I personally don't know anyone that can do it, but it is a skill, right? And even if it isn't an allusion to that scene, I think it is, but even if it isn't, it's a really fun scene. I quite like it. It's just funny. It's really good. And I think it is further characterization for what type of person Gen is, how good he is at getting in people's heads and all that. Music again, a bop. Such a good scene. Okay, so technically not the last scene, like chronologically, but I absolutely adore the scene. The scene is so good, and it doesn't really showcase any magic. Again, it is mostly just Gen being Gen, but I love the showmanship that he's put into it. He chose his favorite flower. Of course he did. It's so fun and so Gen and so magician-y, right? Magicians like putting personal touches into things, and it is a really fun scene because it is just so very extra. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of magic is meant to be extra, right? The effects themselves, if you just look at them at their bare essentials, aren't really that impressive. It is just like a card rising to the top or me being able to guess a card or something. But with a bit of showmanship, with a bit of extravagance, it becomes this really, really cool miracle. And I think this is something that this scene does really well. It portrays this showy, extravagant character being showy and extravagant. And it's really fun, and I think it is so very hype and so very Doctor Stone. And it's scenes like this that make me excited for the next season. Okay, so that's the video. This was much less scripted than the other video on Gen that I did, which again, you should absolutely check out if you enjoyed this one. So it is a bit more all over the place, but I hope it was fine. And I really enjoyed making it because I absolutely adore Doctor Stone. I'm really, really excited for the new season. I think I'm going to be watching the episodes like as they come out. And I think it's going to be fun, great fun. I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of Gen. It's going to be great. Yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, all of that stuff. And again, subscribe. Help me hit that 100 sub mark. Yeah, see you all soon. End of video.